everyone, it's Ryan Robbins with the Robbins Group. I've gotten asked quite a bit lately about how I run my numbers when it comes to evaluating investment properties, so I wanted to go ahead and break one out for you right here. But before we jump into that, one thing that I tell all investors I'm working with is it's extremely important to have your own personal criteria established prior to looking at any properties for yourself. Not only is knowing that overall goal when it comes to building out that rental portfolio important, but it's going to make the decision after you've done the calculations that much easier to say, yes, this is worth pursuing and making that offer, or let's kick this one to the side and move on to evaluating that next opportunity. Now, this example here is right out of my own rental portfolio. It's the first property that I ever purchased, and I paid $47,500. Now, just because that's the price that went on the contract does not mean that's the total cost to acquire that property. I had closing costs, which ran another $997.13, along with insurance and inspections. Now, I paid a year's worth of insurance premium up front, along with 2 inspections. One was a standard home inspection. The second was a septic inspection. And both of those inspections, along with the insurance, came in at $1,601, bringing my total acquisition cost to $50,098.13. Now, one of my own personal criteria is to find a distressed property that I can do some renovations to, not only raising that rent, but also that market value. So I spent the following 2 months, along with another $15,295.22 doing those renovations, bringing my total investment to $65,393.35 prior to placing that first tenant. Now from here, we're going to want to figure out what our net cash flow is. So I'm going to take our monthly rental income, which is $950 per month, and subtract out my expenses. Now, if you look off to the right, those are all items that I account for on any investment property: vacancy, maintenance, insurance, capital expenses, management, and taxes. Now, some other items you may run into that don't apply here are properties inside of communities with an HOA or CDDs. Also, condos, if you happen to own one of those or are looking at one, make sure you include condo fees. Now, I've also got question marks next to capital expenses and management. Capital expenses accounts for items that are going to deteriorate over time. Something like a roof or your flooring would fall into that category. I typically will run this somewhere between 1 and 5%. It truly depends on the condition of the property when I purchase it. Now, in this situation, because I just did a bunch of renovations, I'm hoping most of that maintenance number is going to get banked away for future capital expenses. But for the example, I'm going to run this at 2%. And management, I self-manage, so that is 0. But if you pay a property manager, whatever their service fees, you're going to want to make sure you account for them. Now, as we break these out, vacancy comes in at 67, maintenance is 95, insurance is 55, capital expenses are 19. I'm going to jump over management and close out with taxes at 98 a month. Now from there, we're going to want to add up our expenses and subtract them from our rental income, and that's going to leave us with $616 per month worth of net cash flow, or just better than an 11% return on our initial investment. Now, as I said earlier, one of the things I look for is to do those renovations and raise that market value, and that's so that I can refinance out and take that cash to go reinvest. Now, as this property sits, it's worth somewhere between 105 and 110, but for round numbers, and because I already did the math, we're going to say it's worth $100,000, and I'm going to want to pull 75% of that, or $75,000 back out. Now, amortized out over 30 years at 5%, that's going to leave me with a monthly payment of $402.62, bringing my total cash flow after debt service to $213.38 a month. Now, I typically like to fall somewhere between $150 and $200. So looking at this after doing the calculations, this is something that I would again proceed to make an offer on. Now, if I ran the numbers and it came out to $50, well, I would either say, hey, I need to bring that purchase price down, or I'm going to move on to that next opportunity. The other thing you're going to notice is I've got almost $10,000 extra to then go reinvest in that next income producing property. So again, having that criteria on the front end is going to help out on the back end when it comes to that refinancing as well. If you guys have any questions on how these numbers worked out, if you're getting hung up on a property that you're evaluating, feel free to reach out anytime, the Robbins Group on Instagram or Facebook, or you can leave us a comment here as well. Either way, I appreciate you checking out the video, and we will see you soon. Building out that rental portfolio important, but it's going to make the money to invest otherwhere around the country. It's 38, no, 50,000, not 50,000 even.